What's poppin'? It's your boy Lil Six. I'm here with Underground Legends. You already know what time it is. Yeah. I grew up in Jane and Finch, the south side though. Like if you know Jane and Finch, you know there's like kind of a couple parts, but I grew up mainly in like the south side. It was like 2 or 3 schools, so you already know after school we had to find a place to link up. You know, those ones will probably link up at like the center, like Oakdale Center, or like the Boys and Girls Club. If we're not playing ball, we're probably just like chilling, you know, doing the usual shit. Fucking going to the Boys and Girls Club on the computer, Facebook, looking at kicks and shit, trying to see what kicks we're gonna buy and shit, or fucking probably trying to be playing ball or something, you know. But we're just doing regular shit that young kids are doing. Nothing too crazy at that time. That was like grade 6, 7, 8, you know. After them times, the kids are trying to make money.
Yeah.
If you're serious about ball, you're in the gym. You're not really chilling too much, right? Or you see a couple dudes have girlfriends now and shit. Like, you know, they're lost over there. Like, they're chasing their girl, the your girl shit, you know? Definitely the Boys and Girls Club that molded you still, like, you know? Because that's like, everyone's coming there. If you're a young dude, you're going to see the older dudes from the area. They're going to come through the center. If you're even some, like, little things like going to the center, if you're trying to hoop, like, you had to be a man to even get, like, you had to man up and say, yo, I'm on the run or I'm on next. Like, if you were quiet and shy and shit, like, you were not playing that day. So it all started, man. So I learned how to play ball. Oakdale Community Center, legendary gym. You know how many legends came through here? If there was like a top 10 list, I wouldn't even be on there. I wouldn't even care about it. If you're not sick, like if we're not saying, yo, I want him on, like, you know, you're not coming on if you don't say nothing. Because him over there, he wants to play, so he's gonna big dog you for the spot. You feel me, fam?
Yeah.
It goes like that. Well, winners get 20 bucks.
Oh, let's go right now. Let's go right now. Yo, let's go right now.
The winners get 20 bucks.
Actually, I have fun. No! Kevin's gonna sell me. Chill.
The winners get some 20, bro. Who wants it? Yeah, like summertime in the hood, like the hood barbecues when like our older head will just have a barbecue for the young dogs. You know, like after in summertime and shit. So he'll just have a lot of shit going on. Like have a ball tournament going, then you got the barbecue going. But it's packed. It's like probably 300 to 500 people out there. You know, some people in the area don't even fully like know how to speak English. They kind of are still learning the culture of Toronto and shit. If they're new to the area, so the little things like that when they come outside and they see people just showing love to their kids or them, it's just like it kind of helps them feel welcome, you know. 3, 2, 1, go!
Come on. Hit that. That's your shot. Hit that.
You might see dudes that don't like you just cause where you're from, and then it's like shit. There's not even a time to go and talk it out. It's kind of just like shit. You're from there, so I'm not even hearing what you're saying now. We're fighting for no reason. You know, it's the little thing, but I mean. Say for example, I could not fuck with you, and then the younger people that look up to me are not even gonna ask you, why don't we? You know, they're just gonna kind of follow suit. When you grew up, like when you grow up, and that's kind of the first thing you're told, and you kind of see it on a daily, it's not really weird to you, you know. Like if we were just grown up taught like, yo, garbage bins are not supposed to be in the house; they're always supposed to be outside. We would think that's normal, you know. Like we wouldn't really know, but. Yeah, it's not really that weird because you're just growing up. You grew up and that's what you kind of see every day, so you kind of just grow into it. Obviously, you know the police is just going to come around and just frisking up kids, you know, just for no reason, like carding kids. Like, a man's mom might have to come save you, like, he's 11, like, you know? That little shit, because you might just be an innocent kid, but that could kind of twist your brain and be like, shit, like, yo, I'm in trouble. You might think you're in trouble just because police came up to you, like, you know? Like, people from, like, the community center and stuff, or, like, the youth workers will come and be like, yo, that's not right. Like you guys, like when that happens, call your parents shit, like, you know. So then after a while we started learning like that's not proper, like, you know. They were just kind of helping us how to go about in the streets of Jane and Finch as like young men, you know. Try to avoid trouble as much as possible, because at the end of the day we could just be outside at the scene of something brazen and now we're wanted for questioning, like, you know, like dumb shit. So they're just trying to help us avoid the little things like that, because one small hiccup and it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Now you're in, as a man, now you're in juvenile detention. You don't even know what's going on. You know, those ones are in police custody and they're questioning you. You don't even really know what to say, what not to say. You don't know that you're not supposed to talk without a lawyer. Definitely growing up in Jane and Finch as a young man will kind of mold you it's either going to mold you very quick or break you very quick, because there's certain characteristics that you have to pick up on fast. Like for example, like if you're like a 10-year-old kid, like you're on one side you're on the way to becoming a man, but then on the other side you kind of already have to like move as a man. So it's just like shit. How do you balance the two and kind of not have? It's like how do you balance the two and as like by 16, 17 years old, like not be too caught up on one side. You know what I mean? So it's like yeah, you kind of have to be mentally prepared for all that. You need some legs.
As much as he's rude.
Snicky, bro. The winners are coming up. Yo, these are two snipers. They're moving crazy. Look out for them. Tell them your name. Okay,
Adrian.
what's up, middle school? Look out for them. This might take over the country. You guys know this. Plenty. Everyone take tempo. Yo. Tempo. Good job. I used to play ball. Like a lot of people don't know that. I used to play ball.
Like seriously?
Yeah, like seriously play ball. Like I was trying to go to college and shit, NBA type shit. In grade 9, I went to like Eastern Commerce. That's downtown. I don't know if Jamal McGlure went there. Jamal McGlure, he used to play on the Raptors and shit. He's like, he's in the NBA. Yeah, like he's a serious guy. A couple Canadian legends, like Junior Caduga went there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there with my boy. His name is Justin Jackson. He's on friggin' Orlando Magic right now. He was on the team with me too. That just goes to show you how those ones like how serious was who was around. Music is like one of the things that I used to help to get me in the zone when I was playing ball, right? So then shit, I'm just bumping tracks one day and I just seen like a YouTube type beat and I just slapped it on. I was like, oh shit, let me try sauce this. I went to the studio and then I cooked up something and then I played it around my dogs when I was done. That was the first time I ever walked into a studio. And then they're like, yo, who's this? And I'm like, yo, it's me. And then like, ooh, this is hard. I'm like, holy shit, we have to shoot a video for this. I'm like, nah, chill. Like, those ones, like, every time I said something at first, you're like, nah, are you crazy? Like, but then after a while, my couple dogs just keep on, like, they just kept reminding me, like, shit, fam, this is hard. This could probably blow up. Like, something this could probably so then I eventually shot the video and then people were fucking with it, And that was my first ever song. It's called 6 Man. I dropped something else a couple months later and that was getting more love than 6 Man. And I'm like, shit, let me keep doing this because seems like people are fucking with it, people are appreciating the art,
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kept going with it, and then shit, here we are today. I actually sat down and said I'm gonna start budgeting my time, money, and like my energy into music, because it's like one thing to drop tracks, but it's one thing to be an artist and actually,
Yeah.
like kind of be in this room today, trying to we're kind of garnering all our energy towards the music and the process and shit, right? TOT is still TOT, triple OT, yeah. That's the kind of the camp I'm a part of. Yeah, that's like tired of talking. That's what it stands for. Yeah, that's like it stems from my community still. It's like me and my boys. Like it's more of a mind state as opposed to like a music group. Anyone can relate. So tired of talking. It means like, damn. Now I'm ready to get to work. I don't want to talk about it no more. I just want to get to work now. Like Yeah, so that's kind of the label I'm under right now, In my ends, there wasn't too many men rapping. That's another reason why I started making music, because like I seen like no one from my ends was kind of doing it yet, So I said, shit, why don't I just try it? Maybe I could do a thing, those ones, like shit. But then I started rapping on my ones, and then my dogs started making music also. BMO and Gordo Brazy, shout out to them. I don't know if you saw Honest. We dropped that audio on SoundCloud. It was picking up steam. People were fucking with it hard,
Yeah.
So then we just dropped the visual to that. They were fucking with it. So yeah, those are just like a few people from my ends that I was dropping music with. Toronto's music scene it's growing. It's definitely growing. It's definitely growing still. But I gotta commend all the artists, to be honest, because a lot of artists like they have heart. Like dudes will be dropping project after project, single after single, visual after visual. Even though they're not necessarily seeing like a crazy turn on their career, they'll still stick at it and still keep giving in to the culture. But I feel like the Toronto industry, they kind of don't understand like shit, this kid from the West End can bring in so much traction. Like I feel like they don't understand like kind of how to manage all of that yet. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're kind of worried because they're thinking like shit, we might sign this guy and he might get arrested tomorrow, like shit. Those ones, like I feel like they're still kind of worried. They don't really know how to manage an artist like that. So I feel like in years to come they'll probably be ready to take more risks. And, like I don't know if people take this thing, but like in New York or like, and I'm not even trying to downplay Toronto, but like if you're like in another major city, like if you get like 500K on a tune and the word on the streets is that it's hot, like someone's gonna call you in to come lock a deal, like a big label, like But it's just like I feel like once we kind of follow that pattern, and people start kind of booming off like one by one. He's from there, is taking off. He's from there, taking off. But it's a ways to go, right? Like a dude here will get like 1 million, 3 million views, and it's like shit. The labels are just like, oh, that's cool, but they're not really like, you know, like how has no one called this guy in and offered him some like kind of situation? It's kind of weird, right? That's why dudes be flying to the States, and I didn't understand at first, but now like me kind of maturing in the music shit, like I understand, like, because if they see something hot like with potential, they're grabbing it, like they're not letting it go. Yeah, they're not letting it go. But here, I feel like it's kind of like they're scared to take a risk. I won't say too much division, because honestly, in every city you go to, there's division, right? Like, everywhere we go, there's gonna be like 5 guys that say he doesn't fuck with him, he doesn't fuck with him. It's an endless thing, right? But I feel like another reason why that people might feel like it's divided, or artists might kind of have that divided mentality, is because I feel like there's not kind of enough money circulating in the music industry. Like, for example, say I pop off today and everyone wants to book me for a show, like I could almost guarantee you, like, police are gonna try to jump in and cancel shows, like all types of shit. So dudes are probably looking at it like, alright, I'm not putting my real life, like my everyday safety at risk of in some twisted web of politics for doing a song with him, and I'm not getting paid over it, you know? So it's like they're just looking at it like it's not worth it. But in other countries, there's money being like, they know. I know, like, shit, if I make a song with John from across the city in the East End, this track might pop off, and now we're gonna be getting booked for a worldwide tour. Like, you know, like, it's like shit. They're not looking at it like, they don't believe it yet. I feel like if a man thought, like, if a man knew that this could result in like a payday or like his big break, he would do it. Yeah, he would do it definitely, because now it's helping his career, right? Through me doing hip hop, I try to mesh like other kind of sounds into my music. Like, for example, like I went to London recently, and then I linked up with a couple producers. They kind of like had some, like, I don't know if you know about garage. You know about like UK garage, like boom boom chap, boom boom chap, boom boom chap. Maybe. Like, yeah. So basically, like, I'll try to mesh like those type of beats in with my hip hop sauce. You feel me? Just so my sound kind of gets a bigger demographic. Yeah. So I try to not keep it too like in the trap drill realm. Just so like my music has like a wider reach, a wider range. Okay. But at the same time, I can still give my fans and supporters like new sauce. You know? Yeah. So my sound, it's very like a wider range of hip hop. Like Phone Lines of Focus, that was my first project ever. So people were anticipating more than I even thought. Like, I wasn't even expecting that one. Luckily, it's the first week it charted, and then it's just been it's going steady right now. People are still listening, people are appreciating it, and I'm almost done actually my next tape right now. So I haven't thought of a name of it yet though. True. But yeah, Phone Lines of Focus, I just put together like 10 songs. Like 4 of them were already released, and then I got a couple features on there just to give them some new sauce. Maybe I try to also keep it very like Toronto based, you know, just to give some flavor in the city for someone else listening from another city or country. When I dropped like, what track was it? It was like my 3rd track, 10 Million. It's on my tape, it's the 1st track. Like, I had dropped that, and one of my dogs is good friends with Oliver, so he had sent that through to Oliver. And then Oliver said, shit, who is this? He's like, yo, it's my dog's from the West End Toronto. He was like, shit, this is hard, bro. Like, what's he saying? And then he'd hit me up, he's like, yo, send me this tune. And so I sent it to him, and then he didn't even, like, I didn't even hear from him after that. And then after, like, a week or two, I hear my dog called me and I said, yo, the track's on OVO Sound right now. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, mind you, this is like my 3rd song. Like, I wasn't really serious yet. I was still like just out and just doing my thing on the road and shit. So then he calls me, like, everyone's going crazy. I play it and I'm seeing like 10 mil, little 6. I'm like, holy shit, like, this is real. Like, you know, like, I wasn't expecting things to kind of, like, I don't even know how I got over there. So that was kind of one of the points where in music where I was like, okay, shit, I gotta take it serious, because you don't know who's listening and you don't know who could get a hold of your stuff that likes it, right? So yeah, that was one of the moments where I kind of said, shit, let me actually start to try giving this my all. You know, I met Puffy when I was like, in high school. Yeah, like we had went to the same school. Like, neither of us, we weren't even making music yet. Like, we were just playing on the ball team and shit. Like, you know, we're just running, we're just hooping sometimes, right? Yeah. But then ever since then, I just had a good relationship with him. That's bro still. Okay, like, you know those ones? Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the artists in the city that I really fuck with. I support. I'm a big fan of his music, you know? It's your boy Lil 6. You already know time it is. Phone Lines of Focus is out now. You already know this is the hottest tape in 2019 in Canada. Let's be real, bro. Triple T has a shit on lock, man. Come on.